Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. Welcome to today's forum on affordable housing for all, solving Malaysian urban housing crisis. My name is Muhammad Mahdi and I am honored to be your moderator today. Malaysia's cities are growing rapidly, but with this growth comes a critical issue: housing affordability. For many Malaysians, home ownership remains out of reach due to skyrocketing property price, high living costs, and financial difficulties. Despite government initiative and private sector, there is a significant gap between supply and demand for affordable homes. In fact, according to a 2024 report by Bank Negara, while the market shows an oversupply of high-end properties, the affordable housing segment remains critically underserved. This mismatch indicates a structural flaw in our housing supply strategy. So, how do we solve this crisis? How can we ensure that every nation has access to quality and affordable housing? To help us explore this question, we have a distinguished panel of experts from different sectors who will provide valuable insight. Let me introduce them. Our first panelist is Government Representative Muhammad Razman Afiq, a policy maker from the Ministry of Housing and Local Government (KPKT), with extensive experience in housing policies and urban development strategies. He will share insight on government initiative and policy reform aimed at improving affordable housing access. Next, we have an urban planner, Anisha Putri, a specialist in urban development and city planning. She has worked on various housing projects and will discuss how strategic planning, zoning law, and infrastructure development can contribute to affordable housing solutions. Next, representative the private sector. We have a estate developer, Muhammad Faris, a key player in Malaysia housing industry. With years of experience in property development, he will provide a perspective on the challenge and opportunity developers face in delivering affordable homes. Lastly, we have financial expert Nur Sajidah Afika, a specialist in home financing and banking solutions with a deep understanding of mortgage accessibility and housing loan. He will discuss financial barriers and alternative financing options for the first time home buyers. Thank you all for being here. Let's begin our discussion. To start, let's define the problem, Mr. Afiq. Could you outline the biggest challenge Malaysia face in providing affordable housing?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The biggest challenge is the imbalance between income growth and property prices. While property prices have risen significantly over the years, wage increases have not kept pace, making home ownership difficult for many Malaysians. Another issue is the cost of land and construction materials, which continue to rise. In addition, we are currently dealing with worrying number of abandoned housing projects. In 2024 alone, over 300 housing developments were reported stalled or abandoned due to poor planning or financial mismanagement. This is an issue the government is closely monitoring. Despite various government-led affordable housing programs, there are still inefficiencies in assuring these homes reach the right group. Issues like speculative buying and a lack of coordination between federal and state governments also slow down the development of affordable homes.
That's crucial point, Mr. Afiq. Now, from an urban planning perspective, how does rapid urbanization impact housing affordability?
All right. Urbanization has led to increased demand for housing in major cities like Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and Johor Bahru. However, available land is limited, which drive up property price. Poor planning has also resulted in urban sprawl, where people are forced to live further from city centre, increasing transportation costs. So the key to addressing this is better planning, which are focusing on high density developments, transit-oriented project, and mixed income housing. If we can integrate affordable networks, we can reduce living costs and improve accessibility for lower income groups. Also, with Malaysia experiencing more frequent extreme weather events like flash flood, we must adopt climate resilient housing design. Planning must include elevation standards, drainage system, and flood-proof structures to protect vulnerable communities.
That's an interesting perspective, Mr. Shah. Now, Mr. Fadis, in your opinion, as a real estate developer, what are the biggest obstacles developers face in building affordable homes?
Okay, thank you for the moderator. Affordability is a major challenge because the cost of land, material, and labor continue to rise. Developers need to balance affordability with profitability, which is not always easy. Another major issue is the lengthy approval process. Housing projects often get delayed due to bureaucracy, increasing costs. And since 2022, global supply chain disruption, as exacerbated by geopolitical conflict, has made construction material like steel, cement, and timber more expensive and harder to source. This is making it increasingly difficult to maintain affordability in new development. Additionally, the lack of government incentive for private developers to build low-cost housing means most prefer to focus on mid to high-end properties. To encourage private developers to invest in affordable housing, we need better tax incentive and faster approval process.
That's a valid concern, Mr. Fadis. Finally, we move to our financial expert, Ms. Sajida Afka. Affordability isn't just about house price, it is also about financing. What financial barriers stop Malaysians from buying his home?
Okay, thank you, Mahathir. Okay, the biggest issue is that many Malaysians, especially young buyers, struggle to secure home loans. Banks require stable incomes and low debt ratios, but many Malaysians have high household debt. A 2024 study by Bank Negara Malaysia revealed that fewer than 40% of Malaysians under 35 own homes. Youth unemployment, gig work, and rising living costs are all barriers preventing young adults from entering the property market. Another challenge is the high upfront costs, such as down payments and legal fees, that make home ownership difficult. Many people also lack financial literacy, meaning they don't fully understand mortgage options or available government assistance programs. If we want more people to afford homes, we need better financing options, such as lower down payment schemes and more flexible mortgage terms.
Thank you, Ms. Sajida Afka. Now that we identified the challenge, let's talk about solution. Mr. Afiq, are there any new policies or reform being considered to improve access to affordable housing?
Of course, the government is implementing several initiatives. We have introduced more rent-to-own schemes, allowing buyers to rent homes first before purchasing them. There's also push to improve the Prima and Rumah Week Rumah with housing programs to ensure they truly benefit lower and middle income groups. Additionally, we're working on better enforcement to prevent speculative buying that drives up housing prices. The government is also collaborating with developers to provide more incentive for affordable housing projects.
Oh, that sounds promising. But many Malaysians still struggle to secure affordable homes. Now, Miss Nisha, how can policies be improved to make affordable housing more accessible?
Right. Um, One of the main issues is the location of affordable housing projects. Many are built far from urban centers, increasing transportation costs. So we need to ensure that new developments are well integrated with public transport and job hubs. Additionally, the government must enforce stricter affordable housing quotas for developers and improve monitoring to ensure that homes reach the intended buyers, not speculators. We also need policies that promote mixed income housing, where affordable units are integrated with higher end developments.
Oh, private developers plays a key role in housing supply. Now, Mr. Faris, what incentive would encourage developers to invest more in affordable housing?
Okay, the government could offer tax breaks or subsidies for developers who focus on affordable housing. Faster approval process will also help reduce costs and make project more attractive. Another idea is PPP, or we call public-private partnership, where the government provide land at a lower cost, allowing developer to build affordable housing more feasibility. If these incentives are in place, the private sector will be more willing to invest in this segment.
And finally, Ms. Sajida Fika, home financing remains a major hurdle. What alternative financing option could help first-time buyers afford a home?
Okay, one option is to expand rent to own RTO programs, allowing people to transition from renting to home ownership without a huge upfront payment. The government could also work with banks to introduce lower interest mortgage schemes for first-time buyers. Okay, and additionally, financial literacy programs are essential. Many young buyers don't fully understand their mortgage options or how to manage their finance effectively. If we can educate buyers earlier, they will be better prepared for home ownership.
Thank you, Ms. Sajida. Now, beyond policies and financing, let's explore new ways to make housing more affordable. Ms. Nisha, what innovative housing models could Malaysia adopt?
One promising solution is micro housing, which are smaller, high efficiency homes designed for urban living. We should also focus on modular housing, where prefabricated units reduce construction costs. Another approach is transit-oriented development, which is TOD, where housing is built around transportation hubs, reducing the need for private vehicles and lowering overall living costs. We should also be thinking ahead with climate adaptive designs, especially in flood-prone zones, by incorporating elevated structures and green infrastructure to manage water and reduce heat.
That's fascinating. Mr. Faris, from a construction perspective, are there cost-effective building techniques that could help lower housing price?
Of course, we need to embrace new construction technologies. IBS, or we call industrialized building system, allow faster, cheaper and more sustainable construction. 3D printed homes are also emerging as a cost-effective option. Developer must also look at high-density mixed-use project that maximize land use to keep costs manageable.
Thank you, Mr. Faris. Now, many people believe that housing affordability will remain a long-term issue unless systematic change are made. Now, Mr. Afiq, what step is the government taking to ensure future generation won't face the same affordability crisis?
So, Mr. Mahadi, the key is long-term urban planning. We're working on new policies to regulate speculative buying and introduce sustainable housing strategies. We also want to integrate affordable housing with future infrastructure projects so that the future generation have better access to home within urban centers.
And finally, Ms. Sajida, how can we ensure that all Malaysians, including those from lower income groups, have better access to home ownership?
Okay, for financial education is crucial. Many people don't fully understand mortgage terms, making it hard for them to secure loans. We also need stronger protections for home buyers, ensuring that financing options are fair and accessible. Finally, banks should introduce more flexible mortgage schemes for lower income groups.
Okay. For today, discussion has made it clear that solving Malaysia's urban housing crisis requires collaboration from all sectors. The government, private sector, urban planners, and financial institutions must work together to create sustainable solutions. Most importantly, policies must be well implemented, ensuring that affordable housing reach the people who need it most. A huge thank to our panelists for their insight and for addressing the current challenge we're facing today, from construction costs to climate risk and youth home ownership barriers. We hope today's discussion leads to real action in making home ownership a reality for all Malaysians. Thank you and have a great day.